This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning, Kern County. It is 5 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. I'm Alex Fisher along with Ileana Capian. Maddie will be back tomorrow after enjoying some time off. But
she had a good vacation.
She did have a good vacation. She definitely deserved it. Kevin is in this morning, though, with a look at our forecast. And it was so nice to see the rain yesterday. Of course, it did kind of clear out. We saw some sunshine later in the day.
Yeah, and that's going to continue as we go throughout today. No rain expected. We are going to start out with a little bit of cloud cover and then mostly sunny in all areas of Kern County by the afternoon. Let's show you the satellite and radar right now and what we have going on outside. And you can see the clouds are still kind of hanging around, but they will continue to thin out throughout our Tuesday here. I want to show you some rain amounts. And Meadows Field picking up just under a quarter of an inch here in our studios, 0.25. East Bakersfield, 0.3. Out where I'm at, my rain gauge picked up 0.40. So that was a winner in terms of the rain. Tehachapi, just under a tenth of an inch, in Frazier Park, just under a quarter, and then all other areas of the valley picking up under a tenth. So we did get some measurable rain, but we could use a lot more. As we take a look at the temperature right now in Bakersfield, 50 under a calm wind, a light breeze expected for you today. We take a look at the dog walk forecast, and it'll be a great evening and great morning for a dog. Take the dogs out, 53 by 8 a.m. And you can see throughout the afternoon, we're going to be looking at some lower 70s. And then out of Tehachapi, right now sitting at 37, definitely a cool start. Grab a jacket. We've got a west wind at 10. A little bit of a breeze throughout the afternoon. No advisories in place, and temperatures today will rise back into the 50s. I'll have more in your forecast coming up in just a bit.
And breaking overnight, at least one person is in custody after leading CHP officers on a pursuit and crashing into an apartment complex in southwest Bakersfield. According to BPD, the chase started around 1 a.m. when a CHP officer heard gunshots while on patrol. The officer then saw a car blow through a lane closure on Stockdale Highway and McDonald Way. CHP attempted to pull over the car, but the driver fled, according to police. The pursuit ended when a car crashed into an apartment complex on Bell Terrace near McDonald Way. BPD wasn't able to confirm whether anyone was inside the home or whether anyone was hurt. The incident is under investigation.
The election to recall Governor Gavin Newsom is officially on. The Secretary of State's office confirming late yesterday afternoon more than 1.6 million signatures on recall petitions are verified. 17's Ashley Zavala is in our Capitol Bureau with what happens next.
It's been a long haul.
Organizers of the effort to recall Governor Gavin Newsom officially gathered enough petition signatures for the issue to head to voters later this year. The Secretary of State's office confirmed 1.626 million signatures have been verified, which recall supporters like Ann Dunsmore expected.
I'm pretty pleased with where we're at. It's exactly what I predicted would happen. We've been pulling together our infrastructure that we need to put in place moving forward. We have a very good plan.
Newsom's anti-recall campaign released a statement Monday saying, quote, "This election will be about two different visions for California. The Republican recall, backed by partisan pro-Trump and far-right forces, threatens our values as Californians and seeks to undo the important progress we've made under Governor Newsom. Fighting COVID, supporting families who are struggling, protecting our environment, common sense gun safety laws. There's simply too much at stake. We will win." The effort has drawn a range of Republicans vying for the office, including LGBTQ reality star Caitlyn Jenner, former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer, and 2018 gubernatorial candidate John Cox. The Secretary of State says counties still have until Thursday to finish verifying signatures. The recall election date could be set anytime between August and December of this year. Some elections officials saying it could cost up to $400 million. In Sacramento, Ashley Zavala, 17 News.
And Governor Newsom is speaking out against the recall effort, calling the effort a Republican power grab. The governor tweeted out the following statement, reading, "This Republican recall threatens our values and seeks to undo the important progress we've made, from fighting COVID to helping struggling families, protecting our environment, and passing common sense gun violence solutions. There's too much at stake." The statement was sent out alongside a political ad which claims the recall is tied to QAnon, anti-vaccine extremists, and white supremacist groups like the Proud Boys. The ad also targets the Republican National Committee for investing $250,000 into the recall effort. While Kern County tends to vote red, the recall effort did not gain much traction here at home. According to the Secretary of State's office, more than 49,000 Kern residents signed the petition. That is just 5.5% of the county's population. The recall was most popular in Sierra County, where more than 13% of the population backed the recall. The majority of signatures came from LA and Orange counties, where more than 480,000 people signed on in support of the recall.
Meantime, dozens of people have been arrested on suspicion of COVID-related unemployment fraud. The task force that was established by Governor Newsom in November says 68 people statewide have been arrested and more than 1,600 cases of suspected COVID-related unemployment fraud are under investigation. As we reported last month, the Kern County District Attorney's Office hired an additional investigator to focus on EDD fraud. Kern County is leading the Central California Task Force, which says it's making headway as it looks into suspected fraud in area prisons. In the month of March, 51 new investigations began in the Central Valley, with multiple arrests made. And to your tax dollars now. Yesterday, the Measure N Citizens Oversight Committee reviewed the roughly $80 million proposed Measure N budget for the upcoming fiscal year. The committee's role is number one, to review the proposed budget, and number two, to vote on whether to recommend it to the council. Yesterday, the committee recommended the council approve the majority of the budget, but there was one area where they say was not so fast. Some context first. This proposed budget is worth $78 million, and it's all funded by the Measure N 1 cent sales tax Bakersfield voters passed in 2018. This year's proposal includes $10 million for additional police positions, including 9 new police officers, 8 senior police officers, 6 detectives, and 5 sergeants. Also included $7 million to go toward economic improvement, including $3 million to revitalization projects. Another $5.2 million is supposed to go toward local parks. The committee supported much of the proposed budget, but did not recommend the public works portion, allocated more than $6 million for local highway landscaping.
We just didn't feel that spending $6 million of the citizens' money right now on landscaping and hardscaping was what they wanted when they passed Measure N.
I know how important it is to have access to, safe parks for your children. I live in the Southwest, so I'm lucky and I'm fortunate that I'm able to take her to safe parks, but I can't imagine the mothers that live by MLK, East Bakersfield, that don't have the same luxury, and it makes me really sad. So I'd rather some of these funds go to the parks.
Committee members made clear they support the majority of the proposed budget and were impressed with the thorough city staff presentations at the meeting. The proposed budget now goes to the City Council, where council members will formally approve or reject it.
Looking ahead to this week, Houghton Community Blood Bank is putting out the call for new blood donations after supplies took a serious hit during the pandemic. Houghton will be out in Tehachapi this week for a blood drive in hopes of replenishing that supply. It is happening Thursday from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. at Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District's West Park on West D Street. To schedule an appointment, just head to hcbb.com. This weekend, you can get your pets up to date on their shots. The city's Animal Care Center will be offering low-cost vaccines and licensing. It is happening at Lowell Park at 800 4th Street from 9 a.m. till noon. It will be a drive-through and COVID-19 precautions are in place. The Animal Care Center says during their last clinic, they issued 381 vaccines with 61 microchips.
And we're just a few days away from our Unleash Your Love event, working to help local animals find their forever homes by keeping our local SPCA funded. Now we're teaming up with the Bakersfield SPCA for the event. We'll be live out at the SPCA all day long this Friday, urging you to give them a call and donate. This year's event will once again be virtual due to the pandemic, but you can go online to donate at bakersfieldspca.org or just call 323-8353.
And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket carrying the NROL-82 mission for the National Reconnaissance.
A new U.S. spy satellite is orbiting planet Earth today. It was placed into orbit by a massive Delta IV rocket launched just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon from the Vandenberg Air Force Base on California's central coast. The satellite will be operated by the National Reconnaissance Office. Other than that, information on this project is classified. The United Launch Alliance and joint venture between Lockheed Martin and Boeing has just 4 Delta IV Heavy rockets in its inventory. All are assigned to upcoming missions. The ULA's next generation vehicle, the Vulcan Cantor rocket, is expected to debut later this year.
Meantime, Disneyland is preparing to welcome visitors back for the first time in more than a year. And to mark the occasion, take a look. The California theme park lit up Sleeping Beauty's castle last night. Park officials say the lighting is a symbol of hope and a show of gratitude to fans. The park reopens on Friday to guests who already have tickets and reservations. Disney says there will be plenty of COVID-19 protocols in place to keep everyone safe.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
And we're back now with a massive effort to get a fire in Inyo Kern under control yesterday afternoon. The fire in the area of Three Pines Canyon Avenue consumed multiple mobile homes and other structures, along with vegetation and rail cars. It started around 11:30 yesterday morning, and in addition to gusty winds, firefighters had to watch out for exploding propane tanks. No injuries were reported. It took dozens of firefighters from multiple agencies several hours to get that fire out and the hot spots out. And now, welcome back. Your time now, 5:21. Making headlines around the nation, the family of Andrew Brown Jr. is scheduled to release the results of an independent autopsy today. 42-year-old Brown was shot and killed in Elizabeth City, North Carolina on Wednesday when deputies were attempting to serve a search warrant. On Monday, the Brown family and their attorneys say they were only allowed to view 20 seconds of body camera video of the incident. According to the attorneys, the video shows police shoot Brown in the back of the head while he was trying to drive away. There are ongoing calls for all body camera footage to be released to the public.
The Census Bureau released total population figures and the appointment of seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. According to the Bureau's count, the population stands at just over 331,449,000, representing a 7.4% growth rate over the last census. That is the slowest growth since the 1930s. The South and West grew the fastest, with Utah seeing the biggest increase. 7 congressional seats will shift, Texas gaining 2 seats, while Colorado, Florida, Montana, North Carolina, and Oregon gain 1. The Supreme Court is entering the gun rights debate for the first time in more than a decade. The High Court agreed on Monday to hear a challenge to New York State's restrictions on people carrying concealed handguns in public. The law allows residents to carry a concealed handgun only if they can demonstrate a special need beyond a general desire for self-protection.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. The popularity of gardening has shot up during the pandemic, helping us stay busy, eat healthier, and even providing food that might otherwise be scarce. Keely Calmers joins us with a story of a nonprofit setting up low-income residents to sprout new gardens right in their backyards.
For Wendy Thompson, today marks a new beginning.
I do know I want cucumbers and I want onions and tomatoes.
For the first time ever, she's getting a garden.
I'm excited now just looking at it, so I know it's going to be a very good adventure for me.
An adventure made possible by the Portland nonprofit Growing Gardens. Founded in 1996, the nonprofit has helped hundreds of low-income families grow their own food.
We build gardens, we install the beds, we test the soil to make sure that it is good for growing.
And a sense of security at a time when food insecurity is prevalent.
This is really helping the community be able to sustain, grow healthy food, have access to nutritious food, while also healing during this time.
I think it's going to make me eat a whole lot more fruits and vegetables because I have it right there where I can just walk out of my door and go and pick it.
Along with the obvious physical health benefits of the garden are the psychological benefits.
When things are going bad, it's a calming. I think it will be a calming to be able to come out here and go into the garden.
In addition to introducing homeowners to gardening, the program also works with 16 correctional facilities across the state. The program, called Let Us Grow, gives inmates gardening skills and education. This spring, Pacific Power is supporting growing gardens with a grant to help fund their programs.
This project is great because it helps low-income residents improve diet, save on grocery bills, and just help the community.
For Wendy, it's a chance to grow, and we're not talking just food.
But I'm ready to put my hands in and grow some things in there and see what I can do.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.